tech incubator inside the least likely place on earth, San Quentin Prison. We don't have computers here, much less access to the internet, but we're learning to be entrepreneurs and founding our own companies through a program called The Last Mile.
In San Quentin Prison, there can be no access to the internet. Not only that, a lot of these inmates have been incarcerated for 10, 20 or more years and have never seen the internet.
San Quentin is a pretty surreal place. It's out of a movie that's not like a modern institution in any way, shape, or form. There's such a fear around giving inmates access to technology that has really caused the system to totally stagnate.
There are a lot of people in the prison system that have an entrepreneurial spirit, but they just use it in the wrong way. Over the course of 6 months, we each come up with a tech business idea and create a business plan. For our final projects, we present our companies in front of a live audience. Most of us have never done anything like this before. This event is called Demo Day.
We start prepping for Demo Day 3 months out.
We're going to do our pitches. There's a diverse group here that are all successful Silicon Valley folks. They're going to give you some feedback. These are all passion projects for you, right? So really start to take it from here to here as you're presenting. All right.
When I got to prison, and I was just like, what are you gonna do? You committed voluntary manslaughter. You shot and killed someone. No one's gonna hire you. So I knew that I'd have to become self-employed. I wanted to bring back the sense of the community. And I think health and wellness is the right way to do it because it gets people thinking about their future and about life.
The leading cause of obesity within low-income communities is a lack of access to healthy food choices.
Feedback on Healthy Hearts. I can see you working on your delivery and you're almost there on that.
We were practicing the pitch over and over, refining every sentence, every word.
Vocal Cuts is definitely not my father's barbershop. And here's why. It's all right, pick it up.
And how to just say something that really resonates and is a story that you're taking people through.
It was 12 years ago when my addiction to drugs and alcohol spiraled out of control and led me to a life sentence in prison.
A friend of mine stole a suitcase full of marijuana out of my apartment. I stabbed and murdered him. The past 14 years was figuring out how I got to that place. I had disconnected myself from society and disconnected myself from myself through the use of drugs and alcohol.
This would become the turning point that motivated me to stop using and start looking to fitness for a new way of life. Hello, my name is Chris Schumacher, and I am the founder and CEO of Fitness Monkey.
This world of technology has been passing me by. In a lot of ways, I feel like Fred Flintstone, and the Jetsons are just moving right by me. What are some ways that you could see a formerly incarcerated returning citizen get back out there and start supporting the millennial generation week?
Somebody who comes out of a place like this and survives this and has their sense of values and sense about them is a highly inspirational human being that has a lot of things to teach and share.
What connected with you personally to say, you know what? It's not only my duty, it's my responsibility to reach back to my community.
It's what I want to do because I know the bad rap they get.
What makes that a one? What makes that?
Because they look at me the same way they look at you. And I got money. I went to schools better than them. But it doesn't matter. I should be scared of them taking my wallet, but instead when I walk down the street, they grab their purses and run from me. We walked out of my house and went to the left, 2 doors down, sister and brother in here both dead. If you walked out of my door and went to the right, everybody in that block went to Dartmouth for college, Harvard for business school. I went to the right.
And so what made you choose the right?
There was somebody in my life who cared enough to listen and talk to me.
My passion for studying and getting an education didn't start until I realized for the first time in my life that my father really had no concern for me. I was participating in a crime and kidnap robbery with my father. I participated in these crimes actually to start a relationship with him. My father and I were actually cellmates. I had to really evaluate myself. Do I want to spend the rest of my life in prison and accomplish nothing like he did? To me, the internet is like a dream where you can feel yourself somewhere and you're trying to get to a certain place in life, right? But yet you can have the power to do anything and have access to anybody in the world. I have never been on the internet, never used a laptop or a computer.
All of the guys participate in social media. That voice has become so powerful. They'll write out their blogs, their answers on Quora, their tweets, and we have volunteers that upload and publish them.
The good thing that I realize about the internet is we have the opportunity to dispel myths. The biggest myth is that we are monsters. We are people just like them who have either been hurt. We say hurt people, but we have this motto that we say heal people, heal people.
The only way you ever stay engaged and stay ahead of the curve is to share ideas with people. Just like when you came here, right? It opened up a whole new world to you.
When I found out about The Last Mile, I'm like, that's the program. That's my way forward. Chris himself interviewed me. I looked him straight in the eye and I said, even if I don't get in, I would still love to be part of The Last Mile, because after spending 7 years and 8 months in a system that is so woefully broken, this is the best program I've ever seen for anyone who's incarcerated. Because a lot of incarcerated guys really do have the aptitude for being able to be entrepreneurs. But if you don't present to them what the idea of entrepreneurship is, then you miss a great opportunity.
I met someone who was doing mentoring. She said, well, you want to come in? So I went in and I thought, I'll do my 30 minutes and I'll get the hell out. I was there for about 2.5 hours. The hands started shooting in the air, asking questions. And that's when I realized there are a lot of guys in here with talent and dedication and focus and all the things that we look for in entrepreneurs. They're sitting right here in front of me. My head was spinning as I was driving home thinking it would really make sense if we could start a technology incubator inside prison.
I said, no way.
She said, no effing way am I going into prisons.
I did some research about recidivism and what the spending is in California on prisons. If someone's incarcerated for 20 years, it's not hard to do the math, that's $1 million. And the rate of recidivism is over 60%. So we believe that if we can reduce recidivism by just 5%, over the next 10 years alone, we could save California billions of dollars. I initially was looking at it because of the numbers, till I had a chance to meet the man and realize that giving back makes me feel whole. And that's what drives us to keep going and keep doing it.
I was an ex-felon in possession of a firearm. I served as my third strike. I was in prison at 25 years of age with a 25 to life sentence. I spent the first 5 years of my prison sentence in deep, deep denial about the role that I played in getting myself in prison. It was everybody else's fault but my own. And I started thinking, man, I could literally die in prison. I could die in prison. And so I started making some really fundamental changes in my life. More importantly, what I could do in the community that I lived in, which at the time was prison. In 2011, we launched The Last Mile at San Quentin. July 3rd of 2013, I was released from prison.
Say your first 5 words.
Thank you, God. It is so good to be free again. That's more than 5. Thank you. I'm ready. Last Mile, it starts on the inside, but then carries over on the outside. And that's really, really important, the support system.
We named it The Last Mile really because this transition from inside to outside, this is the most difficult part of incarceration. We sort of took it from technology where the last mile is how platforms sort of plug into usage. That integration is so difficult, and the highest amount of recidivism is within the first 6 months of release. And that's really why it's called The Last Mile.
The challenge that they're set in The Last Mile is to do something that involves technology, something they love, and something that gives back. I made a bunch of bad decisions growing up. I had a brother shot and killed, a couple of first cousins shot and killed. I want to bring some health back into the community, and I want to get people to see, to strengthen them, to say, look, you're strong. That's your health. Health is wealth. We had a great moment with Ray when we had got to the point where he had to produce the content that would describe the services in his entire company. And I remember him just looking at me and going, oh, we've got to make all of that and we have a week? But you know what? It was amazing. He did it.
Eddie was one that really struggled with his business plan.
I want to create a nonprofit that provides musical, general educational opportunities for disadvantaged youth.
Chris had told me to go with something that you're passionate with, and then he asked me what that was, and I told him that it was jazz.
Whether it's through the melancholy moods of Miles Davis or through the sheets of sound of John Coltrane, I want people to feel my passion.
I got out of prison, and Chris asked me if I wanted to pursue the coding. I hadn't used a computer, so there was quite a bit that I had to learn. It's almost like the Wizard of Oz. You remember the guy that was behind the curtain? He was controlling all of this stuff. Nobody knew who he was or whatever, but his work was being felt outside.
After refining our ideas and crafting our presentations, we take to the stage to pitch our new companies. We have 5 minutes to convince an audience of VCs and fellow convicts that our idea could become the next big Silicon Valley startup.
I would say 90% plus of the guys that present have never presented to any audience before. And all of a sudden, they're presenting to 350 people, many venture capitalists. At our first demo day, we had the governor's wife and the head of prisons. And half the audience are their brothers inside. So it really presents an opportunity, but it's also very daunting. I want to welcome you to the third Last Mile Demo Day here at San Quentin State Prison.
As they accrue clean time, members will earn invitations to fitness events where they can share in the experience, strength, and hope of other members and become part of the recovery revolution of the Fitness Monkey. Thank you.
My name is Raymond Ho, and I am the CEO of Gimme. Gimme lets you take a picture of what you want or use an existing image. The app will then process and compare that image against our database of online retailers.
Demo day was phenomenal. MC Hammer was there. We had a super fun time.
Because your shopping future is as easy as see it, snap it, gimme it. Thank you.
I got a little carried away at the end of my demo. I did a little dance and jig. I challenged MC Hammer to dance off, but I don't think he had time. I was too smooth for him.
Intervention Outlet is an urban field mentoring service for youth and parents willing to engage and accept assistance with PTSD. Thank you, and God bless.
Recently, I just had a successful parole hearing where I may be possibly paroling within the next 90 days. They looked at my business plan that I offered them, and they looked at all of the slides that I had with my pitch. And because of those things, they felt that my parole plans were valid. And my support system, guys out there like Horatio Hartz, Eddie Griffin, and Kenyatta Leal was a solid foundation. So I have to get some computer training, and I will also be taking a coding class once I'm released as well.
I'm so nervous. Oh my God!
Look at your dog trying to fight me. He's trying to fight me.
Oh my God. I can't believe this is real.
I feel loved, I feel appreciated, I don't feel tense. I'm with my family, I'm with my loved ones, I'm with my wife, I'm with friends that care for me. I'm with job opportunities, I'm with opportunity to have a better future. I'm home.
All right, so Mr. Hill, say your first 5 words, home, out here on this side of the world.
My first 5 words is, I thank God for everything. And we got to get out of the way for this bus.
A lot of the work that we're doing, all of us that are out, is to help create opportunities for our brothers and sisters that are leaving those incarcerated settings and making sure that they're all right and that we're moving forward together. I've been fortunate enough to work for a company called Rocket Space and earn a position there that allowed me to bring on another fellow Last Mile graduate. We're really excited to have Caleb aboard with us. We have this thing called the Freedom Trail. where we'll hike together.
It's on Mount Tam, which overlooks San Quentin, so you literally see where you were.
Today is big. It does. I'm glad you got your breath so you could experience it.
I know that Chris and Beverly, one day they want to retire and they need somebody that's willing to step up and take this thing forward. I want to be one of those people.
The Last Mile began in San Quentin in 2010 as a test. Today, I'm going to let the results speak for themselves. Back at San Quentin for the first time since his release in July 2013 to share his stories, ladies and gentlemen, Crispino Kenyatta Leal.
Thank you so much for coming out today and supporting this program. I'd also like to congratulate the Last Mile class of 2014. Last year at this time, I had a life sentence, lived in 4 North 29 Low, and was referred to as H10983. Today, I'm helping bring the future to market as a team leader of campus services at Rocket Space. There's a whole world of opportunities out there. Don't let anybody tell you different, man. I just want to leave y'all with that. God bless you. I love you. And stay strong and keep it moving forward ever, backward never.
All right, man. I'll see y'all later, man. Hey, y'all stay up, man.